Sound good? Okay. This is Moisés Acuña-Gurrola with the Latino Americans 500 Years of History, Oral History Project. Today's October 17th, 2015. I'm with Morales Alvarado. So I guess we can just jump right in. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the dance group that you had?
Sure. I am 52 years old and a native of Fort Worth. Lived here all my life, married, 4 kids, and right now 3 grandkids, and worked in various, jobs. And then along that, I have been director of, that I am doing now, with the Ballet Folclórico Azteca, de Fort Worth. And this year we're celebrating 40 years. So we started this in 1975, and it's always been something that we did after school and in the evenings, just on the weekends and stuff. And it's kind of grown over the years into more work, more demand. And when the group started in 1975, my mother at the time was working as a community center director, and she befriended a dancer from Mexico and spoke with him about teaching kids, and that's who hung out at the community center were kids. So she got myself and my sister involved, and we got some kids together, and along with us from the community center, my mom as friend or co-worker from another center brought in some kids from that center from the north side of Fort Worth, and we were from the west side of Fort Worth, and combined us, and so we started that way. And our first practice as a group was held at the San Mateo Catholic Church, and it grew quickly and over the years. And the instructor, Jesus Reyes, at the time, he was with us. I can't really remember because I was a child, a young child. I would think he was around 2 to 3 years. There was a gap of time where we didn't have anyone, but the parents kept us together. And then we had another dancer from Mexico City, Berta Garcia. And so she was with us, I want to say, for about 13 years. Somewhere between 13 to 15 years, something like that. And then when she left, I came in and stepped in as director.
In what year?
1997. And so I've been director since. But as a dancer, I started as a dancer and then instructor and worked my way through. And that's what I do now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did it start like in direct affiliation with San Mateo, or was it just sort of San Mateo provided the space?
They provided the space, okay. And some of the members, like myself, were members of the church, right. But it was mostly location, just somewhere that it was accessible to us to do what we needed to do in the evenings. Mm-hmm. And we got together, and then eventually over time, we ended up with a place or a community center that let us have regular classes and things. We did over the years. We've had several locations to call home, and right now we're located at La Gran Plaza Mall in South Fort Worth. And I believe we've been there, for sure, I can't even remember, isn't that terrible? I've like 8 years, going on 9.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your mother was a community center director?
Mm-hmm.
I asked your sister this earlier. I'll go ahead and ask you, just maybe there'll be a different answer. But have you heard of was your mother involved with the group, from what you recall, the group called United Church Women?
No, I can't say I remember that. I don't know.
I'm just trying to learn more about them. They're a group that sponsored a lot of community centers in Texas. I was wondering if they were
Yeah.
involved, considering this is time at their church.
Right.
And then it was,
Yes. Makes sense,
Yeah,
but I don't
but no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Yeah, and from what I understand, again, I could be wrong. I don't know much about the group. It was different denominations, different, it was
Right.
Catholic, Methodist.
It didn't
it
matter.
was, it was
Yeah.
United Church Women.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought maybe, and so, w- I guess when was the first performance, and how did it go how did it go with the community?
It was good. If I recall, the very first performance was at the Marine Park here in North Fort Worth, and I believe it was the 16 de Septiembre celebration, and we were part of the events of the night. Hmm.
Okay. And what other kind of events were there?
That night, or
I'm sorry, performances.
performances that we do over the years. We do a lot of schools and colleges, universities, corporate, private events, nursing homes, senior citizen homes, community events like carnivals, Mayfest, all those community things that go on in Fort Worth, and really Texas, because we go out of town a lot. We're real popular in the, like, I don't know, just like Sherman, Texas. That's between here and Oklahoma.
Okay.
It's not too far from Oklahoma. And then we go south a lot, and we also enter the dancers into competitions. So they're busy pretty much all year.
Is there competitions with just other folkloric groups?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Other folklorico groups.
Who came up with the name?
I guess the parents, or maybe my parents, I don't know. I don't remember, but it was back then, and I want to say it was a group effort.
In
from the
75 that they
yes.
named it? Okay. Because this is the era of, from late 60s, mid 70s, this was the era of trying to bring back cultural heritage, like indigenous cultural heritage.
Yes.
Bringing back, the word Chicano started coming, being common.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of indigenous art, Aztec stuff,
Mm-hmm.
what do they call Aslan, right? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering if maybe perhaps whoever named it, maybe your mother wasn't, influenced by it.
Yeah, that probably could have been, and I'm probably the way the parents worked really well together, so I think it was a group effort. And we just, from what I remember, that's just who we were and have been all these years. Mm-hmm.
But how many members started up with it?
Back then, I'm going to say maybe somewhere between 20 and, 30 dancers. So, and a lot of them were siblings, so a lot of family involvement. So, and then we've grown, over the years, and through our sessions that we have, it just depends on what's going on with everyone, that our numbers have been really high. Back then too, like especially in the early 90s, we were the only group around for a long, long time. And there might have been a group here and there at schools that we didn't know about, and it was just something that maybe the Spanish teacher at the school did. But to have a community performing arts organization, that wasn't around.
Yeah, I'm from South Texas, and I'm trying to think of some that are not affiliated with schools, and I really can't.
Yeah, there are a lot in South Texas because that's who we go compete with.
Yeah. Who's usually, I guess, the toughest competitors?
The ones from the schools. They're the ones that are tough because, they have access to rehearsal time, more rehearsal than maybe a community group.
And even then, maybe some kids could even get credit for doing it,
yeah.
so you easily get
Yes.
people just...
and more universities are recognizing folklorico as an avenue to bring in students with scholarships.
Has there been any efforts by the group to try to like push that onto universities?
We encourage college all the time, and one of my favorite parts of being a director is getting those college invitations or announcements and the pictures of those graduates, and that is one of my biggest favorite parts of my duties.
Is there any scholarship fundraisers
For ourselves, we have done that in the past. We haven't done it in recently, but we have. It is something that we have done in the past.
How successful was it?
It fluctuates, I guess. With our volunteers, the efforts that we put into it, and what we can get out of it, and so. But it has helped a few of our dancers.
What about mariachi bands? Is there any sort of collaboration with them, or is it part of the same program?
We primarily focus on dance,
Right.
but we do collaborate with different mariachis depending on what event and who wants what and who calls who. But we do collaborate. We have a neighbor down the hall from us and that teach the their students the Mariachi Academy, and so we collaborate together, and then plus the community, the ones out in the community.
I guess I'm asking weirdly specific questions because I come from a school that has a folklorico group, and we've had it for 15 years, and also a mariachi band for about 15, 20 years.
That's great.
Yeah, I was never part of it. I wish though. I regret.
It's a lot of work to put and then to put the two together.
Yes, I've seen the folklorico or the dance teacher and then the band director just kind of like frustrated, because it's just coordinating.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of coordinating, and we did a really big, nice, really nice show out in Grapevine, their theater, with Mariachi Allende, and they primarily play in that Denton, Grapevine, Grand Prairie area, Irving.
Okay.
They're very popular over there. So they were having a show and invited us to participate as their dancers for the night. It was a beautiful, beautiful show, but it was a lot of work.
Was there any efforts to, I guess, march with the protesters in 2006?
No.
For the mega marches? Any sort of like, I guess, endorsements from the folklorico group?
No. No.
Okay.
We don't just do our thing.
Yeah. Because I was wondering, because I think I've seen pictures of some like people in folklorico, attire at that 2006 maybe.
Yeah.
But I was wondering. If
No, it wasn't us.
Probably just people wearing.
Yeah.
Outfits.
Yeah, it could have been.
Has there been any efforts, and I see somewhere on here about a theater. I was going to ask if there's been any efforts to organize like a permanent theater. Did I see it? I'm sorry if I didn't. If I did. I didn't. I guess not. Sorry. I've done quite a bit of
No, it's
interviews.
okay.
They're all
I
overlapping
know.
at this point.
I know.
But yeah, so what kind of theaters have shown support, if any, at all?
At our just about everyone is. They're open to have us come in and do shows there, at their location. Next month we will be at the Rosemary Theatre, and we'll be doing our 40th anniversary show there. And we've also performed at TCU and the Bass Hall, Performance Hall. We've been there a few times performing, just pretty much everywhere.
Has there been sort of a push for making like a permanent home base where it's sort of the rehearsal studio and the theater at the same time?
That was one of the discussions that was brought up several years ago when the Rosemary Theatre was reopened, and to make possibly that be our headquarters. However, with the need of the staging and all of that and the way rehearsals go, it wasn't making sense, where it was really too small at the time, and we haven't really now that at La Gran Plaza we have 2 dance rooms, we have 2 dance classes going on, you know, all week long. So we're able to do more rehearsal than if we had just the one theater.
Right, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What are the age groups?
Ages vary, but usually they start at age 3 to adult.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the most adult?
Last year our oldest member was, I'm gonna say, about 65.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Experience or sort of new to it?
Little experience, but we had a lot of fun. And then we have about a 65% where these kids dance from age 3 on up to when they leave for college.
65.
They don't leave. We're
Wow.
pretty much together.
Mm.
And then we have that few that go and try it out, and then maybe they might come back, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, it might be a couple of years before they return. And then we have the ones that are new and try to figure it out and everything. But we still have that core group that stick around for, and so what we have that keep us pretty much steady for performances throughout the year is a junior company and a company.
And the junior company is so it's sort of like A team, B team type thing where one team usually gets most of the headlining sort of shows.
Kind of. They both work together very well, and they're younger. The
Okay.
junior company.
Okay.
I guess the youngest might be around 11,
Okay.
and then it goes up, and then like the youngest one in our company might be like 13 to adult. So they work together, and we can fix them where they work separately, but they work very hard, and they can put a show on by themselves.
Mm.
And then we have our academy dancers, which are the newer members, and they're not as committed. They come by, you know, session, where the junior company and our company, they're pretty much year round. Mm-hmm.
How long was your mother involved with it?
Since the whole time, and then my mother passed away in 2005.
Okay. And
So
she was with what, 20, 30 years?
Mm-hmm. Yes. She stayed on and as active volunteer, or pretty much supporting my sister and I and the grandkids and nieces and nephews, whoever participated, or just going and supporting as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How does it stay afloat? Is it monthly dues from?
Dues from the dancers, and we do get some donations from the community,
Okay.
just depending on what's going on.
Is it a
Mhm.
501c3?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, how long did that take? Was that a struggle? Like, it took a long time. I know that sometimes to register a group under that, it's a lot of red tape.
Well, this has been a while, so, and I
Okay.
wasn't exactly part of that
Okay.
job that
Yeah.
was already set up before.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was relatively early. I
Oh,
guess,
yes.
then. Okay.
It was very early.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Smart, because I've also heard of a lot of groups sort of forming, and then struggling to survive, and then finally when they kind of do, they're still not even 501. So there's, I'm thinking of one group in particular, a veterans society in South Texas, that yeah, by not doing the 501c3 stuff, it's really easy to get in trouble. But yeah, so I guess that was taken early.
Yeah, it was taken care of a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says here you're a board member for the Rosemary Theatre,
Yes.
and it's known as the Latin Arts Association.
At the time when it was decided to reopen the Rosemary Theatre, the board at the time that was created, which I became a part of, named ourselves the Latin Arts Association.
Okay.
Which several years ago, I think they changed the name to Artes de la Rosa.
Okay, I see. And who put that board together? And how long did it take for it to open up the Rosemary Theatre?
Oh gosh, my years are all mixed up, but I want to say it was probably around 98, maybe, 97. And some of them were city council people.
Okay.
I know Jim Lane was one of the main members, as well as City Councilman Louis Zapata Jr. And then other community people involved was myself and who else was there? Rose Herrera, who at the time was part of the school board for Fourth ISD, and another community lady, Helen Sides. There was a lot. There was several people involved. I can't remember all of them.
That's fine.
But it started, I'm sure, with people from the city, and then reached out to the community for help.
How long? I'm sorry, I'm not from Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
How long was the Rosemary Theatre closed down, and where is it located?
It is located on North Main,
Okay.
just south of the stockyards. And this is the part I don't remember all the history about it, and it was closed for many, many years. So
Are we talking decades?
Mhm.
Oh, well, okay.
I would think so,
Okay.
from what I remember.
Okay.
I just don't have all the years. I bet Rose Herrera would be a good person to talk to about that. And probably somewhere at the theater, some book or something has to have this history in there.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes a lot of stuff
It
just
gets forgotten.
or
Mhm.
or deliberately thrown away. Like some people will just have
Oh,
files and
yeah.
be like, "Oh, it's gonna need this."
Yeah,
And I mean, I do that to myself
and
sometimes.
then later.
And then yeah.
Yeah.
But organizations are notorious for that. It happens way more than, it's sad how much is erased when people are just like, it's just taking up space, get
Yes.
rid of it.
Mhm.
But it'd be really interesting to sort of get those years and
Mhm.
see it.
Yes, I just don't remember. And it took, I want to say, a couple of years from the time that I got involved with attending
Okay.
the meetings and all of that before it even got opened.
And you got involved in 97.
I want to say 97.
And when did it open? You think you said a few years.
Isn't that terrible? And I was there.
Was it before Y2K or after Y2K?
No, it was after. So I want to say, I'd say 97. I would say maybe 2000, 2001,
Wow.
maybe.
It took that long to open up an old theater?
Well, I was part of those meetings way before they even started.
What was taking so long?
Well, there was a lot. They pretty much gutted it out,
Okay.
and then to go back and get, whatever legal work that needed to be done, like with the neighbors, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of work that
Was
needed.
it getting a federal grant also? to reopen?
Probably,
Okay.
that was probably part of it too, and getting all the people, everything lined up and.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, those public works projects,
Mhm.
because I'm guessing it's publicly owned now, maybe?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a city
Yeah.
building.
So a lot of those old, places like that, they used to be privately owned,
Mhm.
families, and then nobody buys the property because it's so
Right.
valued so high, and then it just
Mhm.
rots. And
Yes.
by the time the city wants to adopt it, and then all the money goes in, it just takes forever.
Right.
And Rosemary Theatre sounds like not unlike the other theaters across the country.
It's been, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been for everything that it has accomplished. It's been very busy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Was it a good move on your end, in your opinion?
Oh yes.
Worth it?
Mhm. Mhm.
And this may seem a sort of out of left field question, but has the folklorical group performed in like Juneteenth festivals, Martin Luther King festivals, any Black History festivals before?
Yes, we have in the past. It's probably been a while, but we do encourage our dancers and families to get involved with different communities. And we were at one of the unusual places was a Greek festival, but they also came to one of our events. So we mix our talent with others, and it's nothing that we hold back from.
Okay. Some places are like completely open to that, I've noticed, where you see Mexican groups at Juneteenth events, and then Black History groups at
Right.
they see Sace events.
Right.
And then other times it's like, no, why would we do
One
that?
of one of the nicest things that we performed at was I can't remember the name of the event, and I don't even know that they still do it, but it was held at a park here in Fort Worth, and it was for dads, and it was sponsored and I guess targeted towards African American dad and just dads with hard times, or maybe single dads too. And we were out there, we had the best time. And we stayed, and we got to visit and play and do the crafts and things with all the kids. So it was a nice experience.
Let's see. Is there anything that you would like to mention that I haven't asked you about? I mean, we're good on time, so we can still talk a little bit more. If there's anything that you would want to specifically get on the record and talk about and share your experiences.
Well, over the course of the years, especially in the last 10 years maybe, or 15 years, our group has really thrived. And of course, back then, being the only one here, we didn't have competition, and it was just us, and so we did a lot. And I believe that we were able to serve, hundreds of students and families, over the course of years. And then here in the last 10, 15 years, we really, elevate our efforts, where we were able to perform with some Grammy winner singers, such as Olga Tañón, Pablo Montero, Charlie Zaw, and a few others that we just, that's just another star on our wall that we're proud of, that we're able to do concerts and like opening acts for headline entertainers. And then, and it's the opportunities that are given to our dancers to perform at beautiful theaters such as the Bass Performance Hall. And then it all comes back to the parents and the instructors and the volunteers. We all volunteer, we all put our heart into it. And I think the dancers, they feed off of that, and then they utilize their talents and stuff. So it's a high energy, loving energy that the kids put off when they perform, and it's nice. It's nice, and also I guess within the last 10 years, there's been a few groups that have been created, where at one point maybe they were connected to us. So it's out there and spreading, and the folklorico passion is out, and it's rich. Very, very rich in South Texas, and it's growing here in North Texas.
That's good to hear.
So we're real proud of that.
You mentioned Grammy nominated people. Mr. Bettis, I didn't write down his first name. He came in here with your sister.
America.
Medical, yes. He mentioned his work with the, radio or television, and trying to get musicians up here and stuff like that. Were you involved in any of that?
No, but we've known each other since we were kids. But no, and his daughter did dance with us a few years.
Okay.
But no, I'm not. No, I don't do that.
So he didn't organize any.
Not the ones that I spoke of. Okay. No. These were, at the time, I believe those were set up by the theaters themselves, like the Bass Performance Hall, and I think the one in Grand Prairie is now called the Verizon Theater.
Oh, okay. So that's not a new building then, is it?
No,
In my
And
mind, I
they've
thought
had
it was,
they've
but-
had 2 or 3 names, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Verizon now.
Yeah, I've been there
Mhm.
one time, like a
Nice.
few years ago. I thought it was a brand new. Like,
Yeah, I know.
but it's
It's
been there
around for a while.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. And then also, all the, you know, we're very blessed to have all the parents and board members and volunteers that we have throughout the years. We're very fortunate that they've been in our, you know, in our lives. And, you know, of course, La Gran Plaza for having us there, you know, and inviting us to consider coming in and opening up our studios there. It's been good. And we've been able to serve more than, you know, than we thought we could before.
So, I guess it's kind of hard to tell the future. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. Impossible. But if somebody in the future, future historian wanted to look more into your group, where would be, I guess, a depository, an archive, a source of papers, collections, photographs that they can look?
They could come to our studio.
Okay.
We have a beautiful set of photos that are museum ready to go, and framed and all, that were done by Mr. Donnie Dawson, a professional photographer.
Okay.
We also have we have one book that was created by parents for our 25th anniversary. That there's a lot of history in that book. And then we also have pictures and newspaper articles and some video that we could share.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else maybe that you wanted to talk about?
One of the things, I guess, is our instructors. Over the years, the instructors that we have grew up dancing within the group, and they've stayed dedicated as an instructor, and it has happened with many of our past instructors. And without that kind of talent and dedication, we wouldn't have our group. So,
Who's been, other than you, who's been the longest?
well, I guess I'm the longest running director.
Okay.
And then we have Manuel Sides, who was around for many years as an instructor, and he just recently stopped. I guess he stopped last year. And then we currently have my daughter, Katie Alvarado, who is active with the juniors and company. And then we have Stephanie Verdakis, who started as a young child, and also Mercedes Rodriguez. That's who we have now. And I guess long term, we've had Gloria, we've had Robert, golly, Emmanuel, so Monica. There's been very, very many. And all native to Fort Worth. And that was one of the things too, like you mentioned about changes in the 70s. I recall as a dancer and going to the schools where I went, this wasn't something normal there. It just didn't happen. So when I entered high school, because of a paper I wrote, the Spanish teacher knew what I did, like after school. So she asked me to enter a contest, and it was like a school district contest of different types, and one of them was performing arts. So I danced. And we won. Our school won a few things. And it was fun, and it was different, and it was me having to step out, in front of friends that didn't know that I did this. And I know that I was not the only one in our group that had that experience. So back in the 70s, and getting the community to learn about us and what we did, it was a big door opener for all of us, from the community side as well, knowing that there were kids that were doing this in Fort Worth.
What year did you graduate?
From high school?
Or
19.
I guess, when was it that
The competition.
Was that in high school?
Yes, I don't want to
So if people
say
look back
like.
in your books, maybe they'd find pictures of it?
in the yearbooks, I don't know if it was in the yearbook.
Okay.
Maybe there might be a picture, but I want to say I started high school in '78. See, I'm old.
No, we've spoken to people who are like graduating like 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
There was something else I wanted. Oh yeah. So what about more mainstream stuff? Have you guys tried to break out into more mainstream, like larger scale performance? And by that, I'll just stop beating around the bush and be specific. The Festival de la Flor, or I think that's what it's called, the Selena Festival, the big one that happened in Corpus Christi a few months ago. Did you guys have any interest in doing that? Or will you in the future?
No, I mean that might be something we would look into.
Mm-hmm.
We have done the one in San Antonio that they have every is it Fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
We have gone and performed over there for Fiesta. It just depends on what we have our goals for the year.
Okay.
So we get together and discuss it with the parents. Say, okay, what do we want to do for next year, and work towards those. And lately, it's been competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the performance opportunity, like going to these events, you know, these community things, then we you know, if we can, we will.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I lost my thought here. We have been fortunate where some of our dancers have gone overseas and represented, you know, Fort Worth, Texas, and I myself got to do that in Europe in the summer of 1980.
Okay.
And it was a world festival where performing arts in all different categories came together worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And this was held in England and Scotland.
Wow.
And it was incredible.
Did you get any help from the community, like funding help?
Back then, I want to say yes, and I want to say that the parents, like my family and Manuel's family, they got together along with the parents from the other dancers, because there was 2 of us that were selected from Fort Worth, and then we went with a group that was selected to be part of that festival. They're from Austin, and so we were friends with them, and so they opened up 2 spots.
Okay.
So we had to audition for our spot, and so we were able to participate that summer. And we went everywhere and saw a lot of things that were just incredible, and meet so many people from all over. It was really nice. And I think our family is going back to fundraising. I think they did a bingo back at the San Mateo Hall, and maybe, you know, cooked and had a meal there too. I don't know. I wasn't here because we were rehearsing in Austin.
Oh, okay. I know I've heard of events like that where I guess the kids and stuff, they get on local television, you know, programs, and, you know, I guess not a telethon kind of thing, but just sort of like money, money type of thing. And they perform on TV and that sort of thing. I was wondering if maybe that would happen.
One of a kind of an unusual performance that we've done a few years. We haven't done it lately, but we have done this. It was with the TCU marching band, and then their showgirls and so forth. And we have gone on the field at halftime dancing to the marching band music. So that was it, but we had a lot of fun, and it was a little bit, you know, challenging, and but we had a blast. And that was, I think, the crowd every year just got louder and louder when we had that day that we did that every September. Like I said, it's been a few years, but it's been fun. It was a neat experience.
I think we started. Yeah, so we're coming up on like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for
You're
coming
welcome.
and telling us about the group. And it's really cultural things like this are really important.
Oh,
and
yes.
there isn't enough, I guess, even efforts to try to like preserve the sort of cultural expression.
What, going along with that and thinking about all some of the stuff you mentioned about the 70s, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish in the house. Now, if I went to my grandparents' house, yes, you know, that's what they spoke, and I did my best to communicate, and it all worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, again, I wasn't the only one in that position when, so we have many families that may not be directly connected to their Mexican family or, you know,
Mhm.
ancestors. So this is one way that many families, they bring in the kids, okay, this is how we're going to connect to our culture.
Mhm.
Because we don't speak Spanish anymore in the home, not frequently.
Yeah.
And over the years, because of what I do, I've gotten better at my Spanish, but I am not near perfect. And I think a lot of the dancers who have used dance as their avenue for that cultural touch, I think it gives them that inner love for themselves, because
Mhm.
now they understand, you know, what they have.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was trying to think of the word for that, but I think inner love works too.
I go again.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of. Yeah. I think right now my brain is a little tired.
Yeah,
But
it is.
yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And just let me know if you have any more questions, or if you
I
want to
will.
visit our studio. You're welcome anytime.
Okay. Cool. That'd be really
Yeah,
great.
yeah.